Hi everyone, welcome to a new video for this channel. I'll keep presenting books, and this time I bring a gorgeous and lovely story about two guys. I'm talking about Aristotle and Dante, two books of Benjamin Saénz, an author of poetry and prose for adults and teens. That's why we can find multiple pretty phrases of love and tenderness in these books. I have these two books here in Spanish as my first language, and because I purchased them cheaper than getting them in English. But the translation is not bad, it's good actually. The first book was published in February 2012, and the second was in October 2021. The last publication was recent, in fact. Nonetheless, we can see that it was a long time Benjamin decided to write and release the next book. Some people think that the first book didn't need a sequel. They consider the first story and end was just perfect, and the second one was good, but not too necessary for the story. To be honest, I think the second book was not that good as the first one, but it tells us more about the lives of these two guys, and you can still enjoy it a lot. It's sublime. Coming back to the books, I just want to say that this is a love story of Aristotle and Dante. The book addressed issues such as sexism, racism, homophobia, toxic masculinity, grief, and above all, how to love and be loved. Well, Aristotle, a teenager who spent his life alone and didn't like the company of anyone, he happened to meet Dante on an outing to the pool to learn how to swim. The latter offered his assistance to help him swim. Dante liked to be in the water. It's like he had a connection with it. That was when all began. Dante let him know since the outset that he was gay, considering that being gay could cause a lot of trouble, especially for those people who think that it's an abomination, whatever. So they started as a trustful friendship. One told the other the things about the day, you know. To be clear, the books are accounts about the daily lives. Anyway, Dante had this behavior of being straightforward and asking questions all the time, a part of being somewhat stubborn. He could be a little exasperating now and then. On the other hand, Aristotle was quite quiet. He used to ponder everything. Dante realized it and asked him what on his mind was. Aristotle was like, what if this thing would happen? He was smart, but he preferred not to talk too much. Besides, he had his own battles, like his nightmares of his big brother that was in jail and he didn't know why. Couldn't ask his parents, that it seemed it caused them affliction. Besides, his father has his own battles, as he was a soldier and was in the Vietnam War, and it harmed him a lot as well. That was quite reserved. Poor man, he saw death, tragedy, and malice in his eyes. So in the first book, we'll know how the friendship started. The path was perilous and gloomy, especially Aristotle, who was struggling to be more open. He didn't let anyone to invade his space. No Susie or Gina, two classmates who used to see him, but he was like in rejection. These girls, they loved this fellow and wanted him to be their friend. In the second book, after Dante and Aristotle defined the relationship of being boyfriends and told the parents about them, more complications began. They were anguished, especially Aristotle, about the love He did love Dante, but he was afraid if that love would last forever, if AIDS would end their lives, if the studies in different regions of the country would separate them. It was a battle that he didn't want to fight on his own. He knew that he would require more people on his side, people who can support him, people that he could start love through time. Overall, these books are quite enjoyable and gratifying, satisfying, and above all, love story of these two guys that being too young started to discover themselves, the love, the passion, and courage that involved and strengthened them to face the world. Alright, guys, if you haven't happened to read these books yet, well, this is the time. If you like stories like this, to begin and dive into characters' lives. That was all for today. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to support this channel by subscribing and liking this video. Bye bye.